Oh, hi there. I'm surprised I'm still here after that last video I made, considering YouTube gave me a minor slap on the wrist for potential copyright infringement, even though I did say that it was for Dan and Phil on Radio 1 and that I had nothing to do with the song. How awesome is the Dan and Phil show, by the way? See, real proof that talking to a camera in your bedroom can make you a perfectly respectable career. Anyway, as you might have noticed by now, I am English, and for many of you who are not from the land of bulldogs and crumpets, there are certain things about the English that remain something of a mystery. Or more precisely, there are a lot of misconceptions about Britain that simply aren't true. So, to educate you on what England's really like, I'm launching a new series entitled Shirley's Guide to England. Who needs an imaginative title? Yes, I want to show you England in more depth than you've probably experienced so far, being all the way over the other side of the sea, and I have some great ideas planned for doing just that. But for now, let's keep it simple and debunk some common myths about the English. Stereotypes. Yay or nay? These are just some of the most popular English stereotypes floating around that I'm either going to confirm or dismiss. Are the English really obsessed with tea? Yay! I think this one is justifiable because tea is hugely popular in the UK. In fact, statistics show that we're the 7th highest tea drinking country of them all. But you have to remember that not everyone here drinks tea. I know people that can't stand it, and a lot of us prefer coffee too. Having said that, I'm not the only person I know to own multiple tea sets for different occasions, and a specific place in my house for my ever-growing collection of exotic loose tea, so that kind of confirms that stereotype. Does everyone in England speak with a posh accent? Nay. You might be surprised to find that not everyone here speaks with a posh London accent because, well, I don't know if you notice this one here, I don't sound like the Queen. Fabulous, darling. Wrong Queen! Yes, that is what I think is one of the biggest misconceptions about England. We do not have one accent. You can drive 10 miles and come across 2 different accents depending on where in the country you are. It's shockingly diverse. I'm not going to go too far into this now because I have a bigger idea for exploring accents, which will happen sometime in the future, but for now, believe me, only a small proportion of us actually have that Family Guy snobby posh accent. Sorry to ruin your dreams. Does everyone in England know and love the Queen? Nay. I'm not sure where this idea came from, that everyone in England personally knows the Queen, but it's complete bollocks. The idea that everyone loves the Queen is a bit more accurate though. I don't think we're as patriotic as you Americans, for example, but when a royal occasion does come around, like a wedding or a jubilee, a lot of people straight up lose their shit when it comes to celebrations. Then again, there are a lot of us that don't really care that much, and that's becoming a lot more noticeable these days, so I can't really say yes to either part of that stereotype. Do all English people have bad teeth? What's wrong with that? Nay. The teeth thing's like anywhere else really. Some people have really bad teeth from smoking and eating too many sweets, but the rest of us are fine. Next. Do English people love to queue? Nay. I find that quite weird in a way. Oh, do you know what I haven't done in ages? Stood in a big long queue for hours on end. I love that. I think that stereotype was worded wrong. You do have to wait in queues for a lot of things in England, but that's only so that everyone gets a fair turn at whatever it is they're queuing up for. If you were in a shop or something and there were loads of people but no queue, there'd be no order to anything. It'd just be a massive frenzy where everyone pushed in front of everyone else and caused pandemonium. You need some kind of system. If that stereotype was worded, do English people prefer queuing to chaos, then I'd agree. We don't do it because it's a beloved British pastime, it's just necessary sometimes. Is the weather always bad in England? Nay, wait, yeah, this is a tough one because it kinda is, but at the same time we do have our heat waves. The thing with British weather is that instead of a proper summer, we tend to have average to crap weather as a main setting for most of the year, and then a few short bursts of heat which don't really last very long. But when it is hot, it's freaking scorching, burn your face off, get inside, start the hosepipe bands. So we do get good weather here in jolly old England, just not much of the time. At all. Is all English food unhealthy and boring? Nay. I can see why people think that English food consists of nothing but fish and chips, pie and mash, and roast dinners, but that's not always the case. True, the British haven't always been so willing to enjoy exotic new foods, but nowadays we enjoy a whole variety of cuisines. No town or city in England is without a good Chinese, Thai, Indian, Italian, Mexican or Greek restaurant, or even all of the above. And when it comes to strictly English food, we do try and be healthier these days, but it's not always been easy. I'll have you know that after the war, food rationing carried on way longer here than everywhere else, so a lot of foods that you consider quite common now were still out of bounds for us. We had to make do with all kinds of horrible things like liver and kidney and brain and tripe.
Yuck! Do all pubs in England serve warm beer? Nay!
Okay, I think this stereotype is a result of a mix-up between two different things that you're referring to as beer. England does have types of beer that you serve at room temperature because that's the best way to bring out the flavour, same reason you don't put red wine in the fridge. But the proper name for these are real ales, or my personal favourite, stout, which is a dark, treacly kind of beer that's really strong and bitter. Which, I've just realised, makes me about 100% more male than I already was. But regular beer like lager, that's chilled.
Is English comedy very dry and sarcastic?
No, where'd you get that idea from?
Yay!
While comedy in the UK is quite diverse nowadays, it is something of a British tradition to have quite a dry sense of humour with a lot of sarcastic comments and a bit of a grumpy old man persona. I think because the English have something of a history of complaining and focusing on the bad side, we tend to let that affect the way we joke about things. If you want an example of this, there are two English comedians you should probably check out, Jack Dee and David Mitchell, both of which are particularly good at being grumpy and sarcastic to such a degree it's hard to tell when they're being serious.
Are the English always rude to strangers? Nay.
Despite appearances, English people don't walk around being dicks to each other all the time, but sometimes we do give off that impression. I've heard from quite a few people that they got this idea when they've actually visited England, and they've nodded or said hi to someone in the street, and instead of saying hi back, the English person just shot them a weird look and walked away. Yeah, we do that. I don't know why, but I think it's just a thing here that English people are quite reserved, so we don't necessarily feel comfortable when a stranger strikes up a conversation or invades our personal space. It's nothing against the other person, we just tend to be really shy when it comes to people we don't know, and instead of appearing like that, it always comes out like, "What are you looking at?" We don't mean it, honest. And that's enough stereotypes for today, but Shirley's Guide to England will be back for some more exciting features in the future. And if you have any other stereotypes you want me to set straight, or some things you want to see in future Guide to England videos, put them in the comments, and why not subscribe while you're there? Righto! I'm off for a spot of afternoon tea at Buckingham Palace, followed by a nice warm lager, steak and ale pie, and a jolly good walk in the rain with my bulldog Winston. Toodle pip!